Hello everyone, hope you are all doing great. Today we will study more about vertebrate animals. As you know, we can classify animals into two groups, depending on what is inside their bodies, if they have bones or not. We have learned last time that vertebrate animals are animals with a backbone inside their bodies, which means they have bones inside. Can you give me examples of animals that we can call vertebrate animals? Well, let's see. Look at these animals. They are all vertebrate animals. The horse, the chicken, the fish, and the snake. Well, let's see this picture. This picture is about different animals and a human being. We can see what's inside all of these living things. They all have backbones inside. And for this reason, they are all vertebrates. Look at this. Animals. As you remember, animals are classified into invertebrate animals and vertebrate animals. Today, we will talk more about vertebrate animals. Now, all vertebrate animals have backbones. Bones are very strong, and these bones help animals to be strong and to keep being on shape. Scientists sort vertebrate animals into 5 main groups: fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals. And now we will talk more about each of these groups. Groups of vertebrates. Let's start. Mammals. 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 Well, mammals are animals that feed their babies with milk. Do you know some animals that feed their babies with milk? Did you see the cat when it feeds its babies? Mostly they give birth to their babies. They have lungs to breathe. Mammals have hair or fur covering their bodies. Let's now see some examples of mammals and see how they have these characteristics. Dog. Do you see the dog? Now the dog feeds its baby with milk. The cat does this too. The sheep, the whale, and the lion. All of these animals give birth to babies. They don't lay eggs. They give birth to babies, just like human beings. And for this reason, human beings are considered as mammals too. Now look what covers the body of these animals. Most of these animals are covered with fur or hair or even wool, like this sheep. Look at this whale. What's the color of this whale? It's blue. Do you know that the blue whale is the biggest animal in the world? Yes, it's the biggest animal in the land and oceans and in the sky. It lives in water, but it's a mammal. It's not a fish because they feed their babies with milk and they give birth to youngs. It has warm-blooded and feed its young with milk. The second group of mammals,
vertebrates,
is the group of birds. Birds lay eggs. Of course they lay eggs. Give me an example of a bird. Yes, the chicken. We all know that chickens lay eggs. and all of other birds, they lay eggs. They have lungs to breathe, just like the mammals and the human beings. We will learn after what do we mean by lungs and what are the lungs. Now they are covered with feathers. All birds in general, they are covered with feathers. Examples. The eagle. Look at this eagle. It's a bird. It can fly. It lays eggs. It is covered with feather. The owl, the parrot, and the chicken. These are some examples of birds, and we have many, many other examples. And they all share the same and the common thing that they are birds, they lay eggs, they are covered with feather. Reptiles. Reptiles. I know this word is new for you. Reptiles. This group of vertebrate animals lay eggs too, and they have lungs to breathe. Their bodies are covered with dry scales. Dry. Dry means no water, it's not wet. Scales. Scales. It's some type of body covering. Let's see. These are examples of reptiles. Snake, crocodile, and lizard. All of these animals are reptiles. All of these animals, and they are reptiles. They crawl and slither. Look at their bodies. They are covered with dry scales, and they lay eggs. Fish. We all know fish. Fish lay eggs, just like reptiles and birds. They have something called gills to breathe. It's not like the lungs. Something else that can breathe underwater. Their bodies are covered with wet scales. Wet scales. Scales, the body covering. Wet. This is the opposite meaning of dry. Remember, we have said that reptiles are covered with dry scales. Fish are covered with wet scales. They live in water. All of us know that they live in water. Can you give me examples of fish? Let's see. Examples of fish. Salmon fish and the clownfish. Sometimes they call the clownfish Nemo fish. You know Nemo. And salmon fish. They live in water and they are covered with wet scales. They lay eggs in water and they breathe using gills. Amphibians. Amphibians. Again, amphibians. This is the last group of vertebrate animals. Amphibians. Please repeat this word. Amphibians. Amphibians. Well, amphibians lay eggs in water, and when they are young, they breathe by gills. When they become adults, they will have lungs to breathe. So they live the first period of their lives in water. After that, when they grow up, they go out of water and they live in the land. So they have gills under the water, and when they become adults, they will have lungs to breathe. They have moist skin. Moist, it's like wet, a little bit with water. Let's see examples of amphibians and talk about them more. Well, we have this very special example of amphibians, the frog. The frog. Well, the frog is an amphibian animal. It's covered by moist skin. It lays eggs in the water. It breathes by gills when it's in the water, and when it becomes adult, it breathes using lungs, just like other animals. Well, answer the following questions in your booklet. Open your booklet. Invertebrates and invertebrate animals. Animal life. We will now answer some of these questions. Write the scientific words for each of these kinds of animals. Give 2 examples of each. Complete the table. An animal with a backbone. What do we call animals with backbones? What do we call animals without a backbone? Think. Yes. An animal with a backbone is called a vertebrate animal. So vertebrates. An animal without a backbone, it's invertebrates. It's a kind of invertebrate animals. Well, give me examples. Remember last time we have studied about invertebrates and vertebrates. I know we have studied more today about vertebrate animals, so you can give me examples. And remember invertebrates. Let's see. One example of vertebrate animals is lion and the whale. And 2 examples of invertebrates, insects and worms. Remember, all insects are invertebrate animals. They don't have bones. So does the worm. Question number 2. Sort the following animals into mammals, fish, reptiles, amphibians, or birds. Think. What do you think the cow? Is it a mammal, or a fish, or a reptile, or an amphibian, or a bird? The parrot, the fish, the lizard, and the frog. Let's see. Cow feed their babies with milk. So, yes, I want to hear. Okay, let's see. Parrot. It can fly, it lays eggs, and it's covered with feathers. Fish. It lives in water, it lays eggs, and it's covered with scales. Lizard. Lizard. It lays eggs, it's covered with dry scales. What do you think? The frog. The frog. It's covered with moist skin, and it lives the first part of its life in water. Then it goes out of the water when it becomes an adult. Let's see the answers. Cow is a mammal. Fish. Of course, it's a fish. Reptile. Lizard is a reptile. Frog is an amphibian animal. Parrot is a bird. Well, now we will review what we have talked about today. So start and concentrate with me. Which group or groups of vertebrate animals give birth to babies? Think, 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 think. I will give you a hint. Most of these animals give birth to babies. They feed their babies with milk too. Yes, wonderful. They are mammals. Mammals, and these are some examples of mammals: the giraffe, the tiger, the monkey, the elephant, and so on. Let's go to the next question. Which group or groups of vertebrate animals lay eggs? Do we have only one tribe or one group of animals? Vertebrate animals or more? that lay eggs? Think. Yes, amazing. Birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians. They are all animals that they lay eggs. Bird, the fish, crocodile, and the frog. These are examples of these type of animals. Which group or groups of vertebrate animals are covered by wet scales and live in water? As you know, we have two groups of animals are covered with scales, but only one of them is covered by wet scales. And they live in water, always. Yes, great job. Fish. Fish live in water, they lay eggs, and they're covered by wet scales. Look at these lovely colorful fish. Which group or groups of vertebrate animals have scales? This is different. They didn't tell us that if it is dry or wet. So, fish have wet scales and reptiles have dry scales. These are examples of fish, and this lizard is a reptile. Great job, you're amazing. Which group or groups of vertebrate animals breathe using lungs? Look at this picture. It's a lung. It's two lungs. All of this group of animals, they have these lungs. And human beings too, they have lungs. Can you think? Do we have one or more groups that have lungs to breathe? This organ is very important. It helps the living things to take oxygen from the air and to release carbon dioxide out and bad gases. Mammals, birds, reptiles, and amphibians, but when they are adults only. All of these animals have lungs. Only fish have gills all the time. Amphibians have gills when they are small or babies, but after when they grow up and become adults, they will have lungs. Great job, my grade 4 students. Thank you for listening and hope we will meet again very soon. Good luck.